there is the Sea Fury starting its takeoff roll, back with us for the opening fly past in just over 20 minutes. And there you see why this variant, the ASAC-7, ASAC standing for Airborne Surveillance and Control, is nicknamed the Bag. In that distinctive, retractable and inflatable radome can be found the Searchwater 2000 radar. The type first entered service in what was then the AEW, Airborne Early Warning Role, in the aftermath of 1982's Falklands War, when the lack of airborne early warning assets in the South Atlantic theatre was deemed to have been a major concern. The first two seeking AEW2 conversions began in May 1982, fitted with the Searchwater radar, and they sailed aboard HMS Illustrious for the South Atlantic that August. They were too late to take part in the war itself, but they demonstrated the value of having shipboard airborne early warning able to aid intercepts by the Royal Navy's Sea Harrier Force. The fleet was built up to 13 conversions. 849 Naval Air Squadron was reformed in November 1984 to operate them. Then in the late 1990s there was a major upgrade program resulting in what we see here, the ASAC-7, with a far more capable version of the Searchwater radar. During the 2003 Iraq War, helicopters like this flew from HMS Ark Royal, and they were much used in Afghanistan as well. In both theatres, much use was made of the aircraft's overland surveillance capabilities, tracking vehicles and people. And of course, in that context, the tactical data link is a vital tool in communications terms, allowing the transfer of information in real time to other suitably equipped friendly forces. In 2016, the last of the jungly Sea Kings, the Mark IVs of the Royal Navy, were retired, meaning that these ASAC-7s were the last Sea Kings left in UK military service. They're being retired, however, at the end of September this year. The new capability is being embodied in a Lockheed Martin-led project, Project Crow's Nest, in the Merlin Mark II fleet, and that in future will be a vital element of the protection of the new Queen Elizabeth-class carriers and the rest of the fleet. But these venerable Sea Kings have remained very active. On New Year's Day this year, seeking ASAC-7s flying from the Royal Fleet Auxiliary vessel RFA Fort Rosalie were scrambled to search for a suspected drug-running vessel in the Indian Ocean, with the baggers before retirement. Being flown in very spirited fashion for us by the crew from 849. There are various free water points around the showground. Dave listed them earlier on. We obviously advise you to keep yourselves very well hydrated over the course of the day, and also to apply sun cream as and when you need it. flying a manoeuvre we call a 360-degree wingover that demonstrates maneuverability using... So you'll notice that the undercarriage on the Wildcat doesn't retract, it's permanently down, and that's because it is incredibly strong. This aircraft is designed to land on ships at sea, not just aircraft carriers, but frigates and destroyers with small flight decks. And the smaller ships tend to move around a lot more, so you can imagine high VC state in the middle of the Atlantic so that the ship motion doesn't roll us off. But sometimes we also need to be able to turn the aircraft into wind while attached to the ship. So the undercarriage is configured so that the aircraft can rotate while that deck lock holds it nice and secure, so we don't get rolled off in heavy weather. One of the big changes from the links of the Wildcat, apart from the glass cockpit in the avionics, are the engines. Hugely powerful engines. These ones were developed for the Comanche helicopter that was in development in the United States and was subsequently cancelled. But they are cutting-edge technology, very, very powerful, allowing us to operate this helicopter in heavy weights. Whoa, missile. Into land after a beautifully smooth display with the Sea Fury, Kenneth Ork-Visla, the founder and boss of the Norwegian Air Force Historical Squadron, with the MiG-15 UTI. So, the Sea Vixen, which is currently hopefully on the road back to flying condition, that can be seen in the static park and has a number of associate organisations, other operators who, as it were, bring their historic naval aircraft to the party. We've got several of those here, the likes of the Gazelle Squadron display team, David Brenner with his rare appearance here, one of the most versatile men on the circuit, but now to the fast jet of the Royal Air Force. and that was first used operationally in 2011 during operation. So there's Islamic State or Daesh in Iraq and Syria. More historic aircraft, more aerobatics, an exceptionally varied programme, and an exceptional display from Flight Lieutenant Jim Peterson on the Royal Air Force Typhoon.
Now the F-16 is slowing down to approximately 110 knots in order to demonstrate a sequence of low airspeed, high angle of attack maneuvers.
Of the more recent block production F-16s. post-war. And oh, the noise of the 9-cylinder air-cooled Alvis Leonides radial engine of 550 horsepower. Coronation Review flypast took place over RAF Odium in Hampshire. It was one of 275 Squadron Sycamores that led the formation. Sycamores equipped Royal Air Force search and rescue units around the country at Northcotes, in Lincolnshire, Horsham St Faith, which is now Norwich International Airport, at Thornaby, at Chivenor, Devon, and at Lucas in Fife.
As the jets come over in big battle formation, the patriotic red, white and blue smoke trailing behind, Red 1 pulls the formation up and switches into short diamond formation. The jets at 6,000 feet as they come over the top of this loop, led by Red 1, Squadron Leader Martin Pert. Martin is a former Harrier and Typhoon pilot and has previously served on the Red Arrows as a display pilot. He's in his first year as the team leader. As the jets move off to our right-hand side, Red 1 is about to call them into the first formation representing one of our aircraft. Typhoon Go calls Red 1. You've seen it display already here today. The smoke comes on of Red 4, 5, 8 and 9. Upside down go the jets at 3,000 feet, that distinctive Typhoon planform against the bright blue sky. On the right of Red 1 in Typhoon is the first of our new pilots this year, Flight Lieutenant John Bond, Red 2. Red 1 is about to pull up the formation in the Lightning Loop. As the jets reach 6,000 feet upside down in Lightning, Red 1 pulls the aircraft over the top, about to bring them down the other side and twist to the left. Get your cameras ready as we'll see the Lightning present from left to right.
Holding the back now.
On the left of Red 1 in Phoenix is Red 3, Squadron Leader Mike Ling. Mike is a former display pilot on the team, then carried out the Red 10 role for 6 years before returning for the 2018 season. As the jets go upside down at 3,000 feet, we can see Red 5 on the left-hand side of the formation, who is Flight Lieutenant Dan Lowes. Dan is a former Typhoon pilot and weapons instructor and is in his second year on the team. Our board calls red 9 as the red and blue smoke comes on of red 8 and 9 rolling around the rest of the formation. Get those cameras going. Red 1's about to bend the formation to the left, changing smoke colour. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tornado.
Now.
And pulling up, says red 1. There go the 7 jets. Watch for synchro with the red and blue smoke. Now look out to the front right-hand side, just to the left of the church. The nose lights are on. The white smoke's on. Get down, says red 1, as Enid form an inverted V. Here comes red 9, straight down the middle in the goose. The red and blue smoke of Enid comes back on as they bank round to their right. Red 9 pulling up with the patriotic red, white and blue smoke. As red 1 leads Enid off to the left-hand side with the red and the blue smoke, it's time to look out for the synchro pair again. Smoke comes on, 6 and 7 pull over the top of the heart. Keep your eyes peeled for red 8. Here comes red 8 from the top right. His smoke comes on as he spears the heart. Front of us and do opposition barrel rolls. Up go the 7 jets, white smoke on, red 1 about to roll them to the right, ready for the vertical break.
Now.
Break, break, go, calls red 1. It's the vertical break. Calls red 6. The pilot's fighting the G-forces in the hard turn. This manoeuvre is named after the engineers that fly in the back seat of our aircraft between displays and is dedicated to everyone in circus. Snake-like pattern across the sky. This is Python. As red 1 completes the first barrel roll.
And roll.
As red 1 goes upside down in the second of his barrel rolls, the smoke is about to come off as they move off to the left-hand side to prepare for their next manoeuvre. Their own rolls, get your cameras ready. It is time for the Jippo break. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the Red Arrows!
A single-engine aircraft, the Griffon, unlike the twin-engine engine Typhoon that we saw earlier and the Rafale that we'll be seeing later on, a single Volvo Aero RM12. The aircraft developed by Saab, the Swedish aircraft manufacturer, as a replacement for its 35 Draken and 37 Viggen models. It's a cheaper offering than the other fourth generation fighters as they're known, the likes of the Typhoon and the Rafale, both maintain a very low speed and that high angle of attack attitude all the way down the line. Deal, they've added enhanced capabilities to the aircraft. They've added for the first time an air-to-ground capability. Previously, the Czech Gripens had only served in the air defence, air policing role. Very impressive display indeed of this excellent and extremely popular and versatile Swedish-built combat aircraft. Thus completing his sequence, Captain Ivo Kardoš from the 211th Tactical Squadron of the Czech Air Force with the Saab Jas-39C Gripen. This Mark I, built by Blackburn at its plant at Sherburn in Elmet. It was delivered to the Royal Navy in October 1941 and then later went to the Royal Canadian Air Force. The aircraft's been on and off the display circuit in recent years. It's now, since 2015, been resplendent in the colour scheme of one of the Swordfish from 820 Squadron. Denmark was one of the 4 original European participating air forces in the F-16 program, the others being Belgium, the Netherlands and Norway. Hour quick reaction alert air defence facilities with 2 main aircraft and 2 backups, all armed with Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. The pilots sit on 12.5-hour shifts on quick reaction alert, but they also have taken part in a number of international operations. Now the 727 squadron F-16 coming in for a very slow, very high angle of attack flyby. F-16s deployed with a Canadair Challenger. Denmark is the best place with its climate for year-round flying training. In fact, poor weather there cancelled his plans, planning to buy 27 of those to replace its F-16s. And touching down, Captain Troels Delhi of 727 Squadron, Royal Danish Air Force with the F-16AM.
All right, lads, watch and listen as Captain Porteous takes off with a dirty takeoff, roll, and Yeovilton. Ladies and gentlemen, with a 7G pull to the vertical, Captain Porteous and the square loop. Features enemy into what fighter pilots call the control zone. A pilot must occasionally slow down. The aircraft that can fly the slowest will gain the advantage. Captain Porteous will now demonstrate the high angle of attack.
Roll for these two aeroplanes, but plenty of noise, and a very distinctive noise at that. From leading them off, the Morin-Saulnier MS-760 Paris, accompanied by the Fugger CM-175 Zephyr. The Zephyr is the V-tailed aircraft closest to us in that pair. Of the formation, another very unusual sight in a UK flying display. A member of the two Rafales pulling away first. There's the Falcon 50. They'll be back with us later, but now we have in the lead the Paris, followed by the Zephyr. Across the French Air Force and the Navy, the Rafale has replaced no fewer than 7 previous platforms. In the case of the Navy, it meant the Vought F-8P Crusader and the Dassault Super Étendard. Extended. Up to 30, as well as E-2C Hawkeye surveillance aircraft and helicopters. Now the two aircraft in towards us for the break. And this is where we really see the style and the flair of the French Navy Rafale display to the fore. We'll see one aircraft passing by slow in front of us. These aircraft from Flotille 11F, shore-based at Landivisiau in Brittany. That was the second of the 3 French Navy squadrons to convert to the Rafale. The first had done so from the F-8 Crusader. It was the first to convert from the Super Étendard. Did so in 2011. And it's the French Navy's member squadron of the NATO Tiger Association. Once again, arrestor hooks down. The Rafale took some time to achieve any export success, but they're now being delivered to the Egyptian Air Force. Brilliantly demonstrated once again by the French Navy, the 2 Rafale M's of Flottille 11F from the Belgian Air component to the F-16AM Fighting Falcon. From the Belgian F-16. Good chance here to appreciate the new colour scheme on the Belgian display F-16 for this season, which Vader has dubbed the Dark Falcon. And you'll notice on one of the whichever country the aircraft is displaying in, so it's got a Union flag on it for this weekend.
Team players are French.
And so, finishing off a very stylish display, Capitaine Aviateur Stefan Dart. C-53 Sky Trooper in their most numerous transport forms, to the US Navy as the R4D, to the British and Commonwealth forces as here as the Dakota. They saw service in pretty much every major theatre. The RAF's first Dakotas entered service in India in 1942. From the far side of the battle zone in their Jackal fighting vehicles. And it now seems as though a bit of a firefight has broken into the hopper to provide top cover for the whole operation. Cover being provided by the crewmen in the open doors of the two Wildcats using the .50 caliber machine gun. So that deployment of friendlies is helped for the moment. 2019 brings back the 50th consecutive year in which the Commando Helicopter Force operated in the Arctic environment. Rather different conditions today, though, as the two Merlins with the assault Land Rovers come in. That technique is used widely by many militaries in order to insert troops into ground battle zones as fast as possible. There are the two Merlins climbing rapidly away. They're going to be heading off to the channel. And the enemy have been defeated. A big round of applause for our troops. And the four helicopters, the two Merlins,